Well, really, what the case is about changing practices. So rather than simply saying Walmart needs to pay X number of dollars and everybody goes home, what we want to do is change the way they do business. And what that means is that we want women to have information about what does it take to get promoted. We want them to know when there's an opening so that they can express to their manager, yeah, I want to try for that job. I think I'm good for that job. I think I'm qualified. But if you don't know when there's an opening and you don't know what the criteria are, you don't have that same opportunity, and those opportunities are going to pass. And the ability to get your foot in the door of that management ladder can make a huge difference. Store managers at Walmart make over $100,000 a year on average. And for someone who's starting out maybe as a cashier, but has the talent and the drive, that is an amazing career path. And we want women who are committed to it and who have families to support to have those same opportunities to do that. So part of it obviously is changing those practices, but the other piece of it is to make sure that those changes actually stick. Walmart is a large employer, and it's good that they are providing jobs. What I think is the problem is that their competitors are trying very hard to obey the law. And as a result, they perhaps are not making as much money as Walmart is by not complying with the law. So from my perspective, it's important that Walmart, like its competitors, is on a level playing field. In other words, they have to comply with the law in the same way that their competitors do. And then at that point, whichever company is the most successful, that's terrific. What's happened is that we've been able to help them see that what they thought was just about them or just about their store manager was happening in every store across the country. And I think for them, it has really empowered them to see that what they're trying to accomplish is something that matters sort of far beyond their own store, their own neighborhood, their own community. And I think for them, on one hand, it has been wonderfully empowering. I will say, though, what they've had to put up with and their fortitude, their courage is absolutely humbling. They will be remembered as civil rights heroes long after the case is over and I am long gone. Well, I think for me, what the fact that this case has gotten to the Supreme Court means is that you do not take on a corporation like Walmart and not expect to have to fight to the very last day. It was, I guess, in their mind, a very audacious thing for us to stop and say, no, you need to pay them fairly. And they were not willing to leave even one stone unturned. The fact that Walmart is as big and such a symbol of corporate America means that the case has garnered a lot of attention in this, because of the Supreme Court argument. I mean, interestingly, the issues are fairly legalistic, but ultimately, this question of whether employees can band together and can challenge a company the size of Walmart, I think has broader meaning for the way in which our system operates. I think it's very, very hard to predict. The court has been, I would say, generally quite protective of civil rights and employment discrimination laws in general. Congress was very clear when they passed the civil rights law what they intended, and the Supreme Court has generally been very careful to adhere to what Congress intended. But obviously this case carries a different dimension, which is bringing the case as a class action, and a class action against the largest corporation in America. So it is hard to know precisely how the lines will fall. It's interesting, though, that this is really the first significant gender discrimination class action that the court has taken up at a time when there are now, for the first time, 3 female Supreme Court justices. And so I think that's one part of it that's very interesting to me. Well, there have been times that it's been very difficult, and I tend to be very optimistic, but there are times that I recognize that, we may not win. But I finally said to myself that I would rather go down fighting on our side than win on their side. And so that's what gets me going, and that's what keeps me going, hopefully to the successful end, but we will see.